better and better, and just last May 25th, the tumor was removed, which they didn't think they were going to be able to do. They took it out in its entirety, and in July, my last PET CT was 100% negative. So my urologic surgeon, Dr. Robert Yan, he got it all. He took 6 hours, and he gave me a hug. Dr. Checky, he declared me in remission. He said, you know, I think you can hold the chemotherapy. He says, you know, cisplatin worries me a little. You've only got one kidney now. You know, it can do kidney damage. So, of course, I had to call Dr. Nagurny. And sure enough, he got back to me. It was the end of a long day, and he wasn't as sanguine as the others. He says, hey, the scan only sees down to a centimeter. He says, you can have hundreds of thousands of viable cancer cells. He said, this isn't mumbly peg we're dealing with. I don't know if everybody knows what mumbly peg is, right? He'd been right about everything so far. As his office manager, Sherry Burt, put it to me on the phone one time, she says, the only thing wrong with Dr. Ed is he's always right. So, I'm still on chemotherapy. It takes 2 cycles. The cisplatin was downgraded to carboplatin. I have had I've had no side effects except for a neuropathy, and after all, that has a hidden benefit. My little puppy can teeth on my toes, and I don't know. And other than my life, I also have Dr. Nagurny to thank for the correct pronunciation of the word apoptosis. It's a beautiful word. It means falling leaves. It was a neologism concocted for this discovery that cells kill themselves regularly. Every year, we turn ourselves over. But it was pretty much ruined when I pronounced it apoptosis. But it was the first thing Dr. N said to me when we met. He says, cancer cells don't grow too much. I mean, everybody thinks that. They still think that. Proliferation, it's called. He says, they die too little. He explained how the programmed death of cells is called apoptosis, and the loss of that by mutation, and a cell is on its way toward cancer. So, you add a drug, and you look for dying leaves. I mean, no disrespect intended to Dr. Nagurny and the brave few that pursue this test, but this would seem to be a no-brainer. And yet, neither the name Robert Nagurny, nor the test, as I'll call it, by any name, and the other generic name is CSRA, chemosensitivity resistance assay. None of those names, none of those words are indexed in clinical textbooks of cancer. And in preparation for my talk, I traveled to San Francisco's UC Medical School Library. I hand-searched the indices. I searched every relevant book on Amazon. You can, like, look inside, as they say. And it's a case of what the Germans have a word for. They call it death by silence, the silent treatment. Actually, it's worse than that. The test, Dr. Nagurny's test, Dr. Wiesendahl's test, this test that's been out there, it's actively attacked. Just 1 month ago in August, and again in 2004, they had to do it twice. A special panel was convened by the trade organization of academic and private oncologists called ASCO, the American Society of Clinical Oncologists, for the express purpose of dismissing chemosensitivity and resistance assays as useless. These critics ignore completely the newer, more common sense methods, and they don't mention the fine published work, the peer-reviewed work by Drs. Nagurny, Wiesendahl, and others over decades. Would the test save money all around for the insurers, the drug developers, the practicing doctors, and certainly the patients by going straight for the best drug right from the start? Of course it would. But, you know, who needs to save money when the National Cancer Institute alone must disperse $5 billion a year, mostly hunting a genomic snark? The use of, anyway, the critics dismiss all the amazing positive correlations. In other words, you use the test, you do better. They say, oh, well, that's just coincidence. You have to have a randomized clinical trial. And that's what they mean when they tell patients it's not tested well. not tested by what they call RCTs. These are supposed to be the gold standard for scientific testing. And it sounds reasonable until you realize this isn't a treatment that has to be put through a billion-dollar test. It's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about a new drug. It's just a test. It's like a blood culture or a CAT scan. You don't test a test. You don't take some people's temperatures and not others to find out who dies more often in a hospital. We take temperatures. All we ask is the thermometer works. We ask that the test be accurate. And the test, as I call it, has been proven sensitive, specific, reliable, year after year, time after time. So who's smart enough to move this forward? Well, we are. The patients, and above all, those whose lives have been saved by the test. I mean, you can't say that. We are the real constituents. Last November, when I was discharged from the hospital, I was still blinking with the wonder of being alive. I was sure my story would be avidly seized on. I mean, here I was a doctor. My ravaging kidney cancer had melted away because of a combination of drugs which no one else would have used. You can imagine my astonishment when nobody who I approached with my story, and I mean nobody, not the American Kidney Cancer Association, not the Dr. Oz show, not two book agents, and not even Christopher Hitchens, although you probably never saw my email. Nobody showed the slightest interest in a doctor plucked from the big kahuna. Turned around in 2 weeks, clearing up like a case of pneumonia treated with penicillin. My Stanford oncologist, who is no longer interested in hearing from me, I keep her prize, regardless. She's actually told a kidney patient, a 25-year-old kidney cancer patient, that Dr. Nagurni's test has been tried and hasn't worked, and she knows me. So underlying this defeatism, this closed-mindedness, is therapeutic nihilism. The oncologists think they know the score. There's no significant improvement in the treatment of solid cancers, the big killers, in 50 years since Nixon declared war on cancer in 1971. And even I knew before I got sick that the bright claims for progress against cancer were eyewash. I thought I was a therapeutic nihilist when it came to cancer, that once you get it, you're a goner. In my hospital library, at the Bates in Berkeley, the largest, shiniest book on the shelf is called Oncology. That's the title. It's the 2008 edition. It's Vincent T. DeVita, editor. It's a standard. And if you go to page 1172, you'll find this chilling premise. It'll stop you. Chemotherapy, currently, quote, has little or no role in the treatment of metastatic renal cell cancer. Now, that's nihilism. What a weight off the soul to hear Dr. Nagurni say that at a recent TEDx convention, and as I saw on YouTube, he says, I killed cancer. I killed cancer. I mean, he's got a sign in his way here. This is hope something. Practice here. I mean, and there's a line in a card I got by Emily Dickinson. She says, hope is the thing with feathers. I'd love to hear the taboo word cure, but I'll settle for an indefinite death sentence like everyone else alive, every sentient being, and I'll enjoy each moment, like now, and spread the word about the test and its potential for saving lives. In another YouTube, Dr. Nagurni wonders rhetorically what he has to do to get noticed, catch bullets in his teeth. For me, it's been a year of life. I swim, I work out, I look forward to another season of snowboarding, and I try not to die because, to quote the late, great Jack LaLanne, hey, it would spoil my reputation.
Lung cancer that we treated over last year. Ryan, come on up. John, I want you to come up too. We're in the same group. Ryan is the story I mentioned.
Do that again.
I mentioned earlier, we came to, if that's the one, then how about the 2-year patients? Patients who've been under our care are using these treatments for the last 2 years. Who else is in the audience here? Must be people here with 2. If not, then 3. Oh, okay. Arthur Patel, wonderful story with a lymphoma therapy that worked perfectly. I'm so delighted for her excellent outcome and success. Marcia Scheidler is coming up. Tina Groot. His husband, Karen, has been such a supporter. Tina. Patricia Miller. Denise Messenger. 3 years. 4 years. 5 years. 6 years. 7 years. 2. Marjorie Gromay, some of you were here last year, remembers our young patient Marjorie. Our patient Rick Carroll, another wonderful lung cancer success. Marjorie, come on up. Sue Allen, 7 years with metastatic lung cancer. Kenneth Baumhunter, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years and more. These are patients out to 15 years, and there are many, many more of them. Patients with diseases like lung cancer and pancreatic cancer, diseases that are not supposed to live beyond months. And here are patients out to 15 years and more who are alive today because that test that John mentioned isn't accepted and isn't approved, worked so well for them. So I want to just say how delighted we are to be here to celebrate you and all your success. And we'd like to get a photograph of you all. Thanks for coming up. Let's get a photo.